video, I want to talk about just some campaign basics. I want to talk about the structure of a campaign, kind of the parts and pieces to a search campaign. So let's start off with keywords. One of the very first things that you do is you develop a list of keywords or a keyword list. Now, when we say keywords, we mean search terms. We mean people will go to a search engine and type in some type of search for your business. So let's say that your business is dentistry, you're a local dentist. Some possible searches that people might type in is local dentist. They might also type in dentist near me, or they might type in same day appointment dentist. Now, to be honest, there could be thousands of different search phrases that somebody would type in order to find a dentist. And when you're building a search campaign, we don't want to limit just to 3 or 4 or 5 different phrases. We want to have hundreds, if not thousands of phrases that people could search that potentially could be our customers. And so developing a keyword list can be a pretty exhaustive process, and there's tools that we talk about later in the course. So the next step that we go through once we have a list of keywords is we write ads. We write groups of ads that are related called ad groups. I know that seems pretty simple. Groups of ads are called ad groups, but this word ad group is something that pops up in Google Ads over and over. And so an ad group is a group of ads that is going to be closely interchangeable. It's going to be, I write this ad and it could show this ad or this ad or this ad, and it really doesn't matter. They all pretty much talk about the same topic. Now, you may want 5 ads, 10 ads, you may want 100 ads. It really just depends on how complex your business is and how many different types of product or different things you're selling. Now, if you're writing ads that are very general and maybe you're a clothing store, you're selling men's clothing and you're going to write some general 50% off men's clothing type sale ads, those are going to be very broad, very general, and pretty easy to write for a whole area. But if you're trying to write ads specifically for each product you sell, that can become very laborious. And in practice, most people will use something called dynamic ads, where they're auto-populating the ad and they're actually creating their own specific ad for each product. And again, there's tools and it gets a little more detailed, and we'll get into that later on. But for right now, I want you to understand that an ad group is a group of ads that are interchangeable, that have a very similar meaning, and they're going to correlate to a list of keywords. So the keyword list that you create, any of those keywords that are searched can potentially show any of those ads. We'll look at it in more detail in future lectures, but right now I want you to understand that ad groups are related to keyword lists. And then you should use a separate group of ads for each major concept within your business that you're advertising. The next area that I want to talk about in this basics video is I want to talk about quality score. And what is a quality score? So Google is always trying to make sure that the search engine is very pure, very straightforward, that the information you're looking for is readily available. Now, they still want to make money, but they're trying to make sure that the results that you get when you search for something are good enough that you're willing to click on an ad as much as you're willing to click on an organic listing. Now, let's be honest, very few of us are excited to click on any kind of ad of any kind. In fact, something like 95% of people will always skip the ads and will just focus on the organic. And you're probably thinking, well, that's me as well. Except for every once in a while, we see an ad that hits us just right and we end up clicking on it. And there are literally millions and millions of clicks that go just to the advertising. Google still wants to make sure that that's quality advertising. And what they denote as quality is they want there to be some kind of relationship between the ad, the landing page, and then the topic that you were searching for. And they represent that with a numerical score. Now, the quality score is kind of going away in terms of being visible in the platform. They're not showing it as much as they used to show it. And a rumor is that it's going to be completely suppressed in this most recent version. But the concept of quality score is still there. There's still a concept of there is a numerical number between 0 and 10 that says how quality your ad is, your landing page, your campaign, and that is still dictating. So I still very strongly believe that there is some quality metric, even though they're trying to hide it from us. You still have to be aware of the principle, and that's why we still teach it. And so it's a numerical score that represents how relevant your keywords are to your ad and then your ad to your landing page. So nobody wants to click on a web page that, an ad that takes them to a web page that has nothing to do with what they clicked on. So I've used this example, dentist. If I type in dentist near me, and there's an ad that says get a list of dentists, and then I click on it and it takes me to a shoe store, that's not going to be relevant. I'm going to hit my back button and I'm not going to be happy with the search engine. So Google's trying to make sure that when we search for something, we get exactly what we're searching for in the advertising as much as we do in the organic. Now, you also have to ask, is your page the best answer? Are you the very best of all the landing pages, even among the advertisers? That will affect your quality score. So as far as quality score calculations, it's not purely relevance. It also has to do with historical performance, potential click-through rate. It has to do with the account that you're using. So your AdWords account, how long have you been advertising for? How long have you been relevant for? So that will play into your quality score. How long has your campaign been running? How long has your actual ad group been running? And how long have you been advertising for this particular keyword? Now, why are they so concerned about all those different factors about how long? Well, this is the way that Google gives preferential treatment to their larger, more consistent advertisers. So if you're somebody who's trying to sell maybe clothing, and you just now started advertising for clothing, but somebody like a Target has been advertising for clothing for years and years and literally spent millions, if not billions of dollars advertising with Google for the concept of clothing, you coming along, it really shouldn't be an even playing field. And so Google uses the quality score to adjust the pricing for the newcomer so the existing company is protected. Okay, so there is some level of that going on. And again, without going through this in this discussion, there's nothing in the AdWords platform, the Google Ads platform, that would tip you off to that going on. And so they try and be very careful about how they display this information. So the other way that they calculate the quality score is what I mentioned before, which is relevance. And so they look specifically at the keyword. So let's say that somebody advertises for dentist near me. And then your ad says, are you looking for a dentist near you? Click here. We're located in your area. And then you go to the landing page where you click to, and it says, we are a local dentist in Salt Lake City, Utah, in Omaha, Nebraska, in whatever city the person is searching in. And if Google looks at it and someone typed in near me, dentist near me, and there's an ad that says we are near you, and then you go to the landing page and it says we're in your area, and it actually has the name of the area, then that's going to be a very good relevance. Now, what's interesting is if you can load your ads into the AdWords or the Google Ads platform, and you can determine the quality score, you will notice that even when everything looks perfectly relevant, sometimes out of 10, you're only a 6 or maybe a 5 on the quality score. So instead of being like 9s and 10s because everything's perfectly relevant, when you first start a campaign, a lot of times the highest quality score you can get is 5, 6, maybe a 7. The reason why it goes back to this first part again is historical performance. If you don't have a long history with Google of advertising, they're just not going to give as much credibility to your relevance, to your quality score, and therefore you're going to end up having to pay a little bit more to get your ads to the top. Okay, so those are just some basics. We talked about ad groups, we talked about keyword lists, and we talked about quality score, which is a measurement of historical performance and relevance. In the next video, we're going to talk about kind of writing ads and some of the things we need to think about when we're writing our Google ads.